Can you hear him down the background? Do I need to close my door?
No, you're
No,
good.
I can't hear him. Can you hear my mum and dad in the background?
Yes.
The joke is I don't live with my mum and dad. Do you get it? Thanks, Lucky. Thanks. It's always good to have a supporter on the podcast, you know?
Lucky's just going to plug his stream at the end of this, watch.
Yeah, watch. He's just here to laugh and then plug his stream. That's it.
Oh, this reminds me of Lock, Stock, Plays, you know?
This reminds me of that time I played Persona 3 on stream. Catch it tomorrow. And with that, I guess I'll intro the podcast. Welcome to the Dreamworks podcast, episode 4. Once again, I want to start off by saying, Brad,
Hi, mate. I'm a fly on
you're
shit.
you're not a co-host. I just want you to understand that just because you've been on all 4 of the 4 episodes that have been released, that doesn't make you a co-host. I'm still not going to pay you.
That's
for your
okay. I'm just
time.
here to listen to the jingle at the start, and then I'm happy to leave, actually.
Oh, so you just listen to the jingle at the start, and then the rest is just pre-recorded responses?
Yes.
The rest is just like you going, mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And you just have a soundboard going. Well,
Yes.
you won't be able to pull that off in this one because this week, as sort of a segue from last week's episode, because last week, if you missed it, we did the Shrek movies. We talked about all 4 Shrek movies. But now, we're talking about other non-Shrek Dreamworks movies, because I think Shrek is really their staple. And I know they've got How to Train Your Dragon, that's pretty consistently good. Kung Fu Panda's pretty good. But they also have a lot of, I'm not going to say forgotten movies, but they're like cult classic movies, which I feel kind of sums up what we all chose. But yeah, so this week we've got Brad again, we've got Lockie again, and we've got Teeny again, which is unfortunate. I didn't want any of them back, but you know, it happens.
Too good of a crew not to pass up.
Yeah, that's true. It's the ultimate
Also,
crew.
that's a lie. You stalker messaged us on Facebook.
I didn't stalk a message you. I just wanted to know what movies you were doing.
The show's
Guys,
falling
can I
apart already.
please get a crew? Can I please?
Shut up, it's not what happened. And yeah, I guess off the top, just do the little, shameless plug. Depending on where you're listening to this, one of the options is already obvious, but you can listen to this on Spotify, you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, and yeah, it's pretty easy to listen to now, so you kind of have no excuse if you don't listen to it. But yeah, I guess we can get straight into it. I don't know how you guys want to order it. I thought I'd wait and ask you. Do you want to go? We can either do in order of release, or we can just go whoever wants to go first to talk about their chosen DreamWorks movie.
As the co-host, I think we should do alphabetical order. Keep it neat.
Alphabetical order of the movies, or alphabetical order
Yep.
of the names of the people talking about the movies.
Oh, no, we got to go. Movies.
Movies?
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Let me
go.
pull up the list. But I believe that would make mine first. Right?
Sounds good.
Yes.
B
yeah,
movie
why did
away.
that take so long for my brain to process that B comes before E?
Because you
I feel like
C
that was
before
pretty
E,
obvious.
except after C.
Of course, that's the rule. That's what we were taught. Yeah, wow, strong start. B movie. Okay.
If you say you hate it, you're fired from your own podcast.
Okay. I didn't say I hate it. Brad took the wrong idea when I said my opinion on on the B movie. Okay, what year did I say it came out? Okay, so the B movie came out in 2007. So it's the second latest of the 4 movies that we've chosen. But yeah, fuck me. This movie's fucking... I don't even know. I feel like everything's already been said about it. I feel like everyone has already said everything there is to say about this fucking movie. It's so bizarre, and every part of it is just dumb. I'm gonna say it. It's dumb. I'm sorry, but it's dumb. Okay.
It just like stands out among like all animated movies, doesn't it?
It literally does, because it's so different, and that's not a good thing. Okay, I'm not saying it's unique and special. I'm saying it's bizarre, and it doesn't... It's such a strange story, and I think I forgot the second half of the movie. I thought the movie ended at, like, the halfway point. Like, the plot to me, in my mind, never went past a lawsuit in which Barry B. Benson, B voiced by Jerry Seinfeld, that wears a yellow and black sweater over his B print, sues the entire human race for stealing bees' honey. I just thought, oh yeah,
Look, it's fair.
I thought that's the end. He wins the lawsuit, and that's the end of the movie. And then I kind of forgot that, like, the whole second half of the movie happens, where, like, the entire world goes to shit, and it's like all the plants are dying because there's no honey and there's no pollen, and wow, Barry, you've got to save the earth. And then he does like a little fucking adventure and like goes on a plane, and then he goes into the cockpit to try and do... I don't remember what he tries to do. He tries to undelay them. They're like having a delay.
Right.
And he goes into the cockpit and says like, hey guys, gonna have to hurry up. We need to get somewhere. And instead the two co-pilots accidentally knock each other out. And then Vanessa has to go to the front of the cockpit. I feel like I skipped over the fact that a bee and a human are in love, but Vanessa has to go to the cockpit and take control of the plane, but she doesn't know how to fly a plane, and when she realizes that, she cracks the shits and crosses her arms while a plane full of passengers is crashing, and the way the plane is saved is by a group, all of the bees from Barry B. Benson's hive come and lift the plane and then help it land by creating a pulsating flower on the ground that they land the plane onto. And I feel like that really just sums up the whole second half of the movie.
You're completely missing Thinking Bee.
Of course, sorry.
They
Thinking
chant
bee.
they chant
bee.
Thinking Bee as they make a pulsating flower. It is a brilliant movie.
Okay, but
Absolute
see,
genius.
I feel like the things that I'm saying are bad, you're saying are good.
It taught me at a ripe, precious age the importance of bees to the world.
You want to know the lesson I
Had you ever
learned from the
been
movie, Tinny? You want to know the lesson I learned? To
You
never
watched it
be... No. To never be as insecure as Vanessa's boyfriend. Okay?
Oh,
See, there you
Ken.
go.
To-
Lessons.
Ken, man.
Lessons.
The fact that he feels extremely threatened by a bee is the funniest plot point in that movie, but they don't play it as a joke.
But isn't he allergic anyway, though? So, like, it kind of does make sense. Because I'm pretty sure
Yes.
he's allergic.
He's allergic to bees, yes. But it's more so the fact that, like, I get it at the start when he tries to kill Barry, and he's like, what the hell, kill it, that thing's gonna kill me. And she's like, no, don't kill it, it talks. And then it's when she's supposed to be having dinner with Ken, and then he's running late, and he arrives home to see his girlfriend sitting at a table with a bee, a talking bee, sitting at a tiny doll table eating food, and he sits across from him and says, hey, get out of here, mister, get your hands off her, or something like that. And I was like, he's a bee. What the fuck is your problem? I was like, how insecure do you have to be, no pun intended, to feel threatened by a fucking bee? Like, I know he's voiced by Jerry Seinfeld, and that voice is, like, beautiful, but, like, come on, man.
He's a pretty cute bee too. Like you can't.
Pretty cute bee.
That's disgusting.
He's a snack-sized snack of a bee. He'd absolutely love to eat up Barry B. Benson.
I hate it.
All right, so I'd also like to request that I have my own little jingle when I bring up a fan theory. All right, here we go. Dun, dun, dun,
You're
dun.
bringing up a fan
There you
theory
go.
about bee
A
movies?
theory, a B movie, that Adam is a transsexual.
Ooh, let's hear it.
What?
Well, it's just only girl bees can sting. That's pretty much it. That's biology. Only girl bees can sting. Adam stung someone.
But is this sort of like, okay, like, yeah, that would be really sick, but is this like a thing that, you know, from Barnyard,
I was literally
main-
going to say
Yes,
pretty
Barnyard.
much.
Barnyard.
Pretty
the
much.
main cow has udders?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay,
That's
but
the
that
only
was a
good one I can find.
Nickelodeon original movie. I don't think it's really held to the same standards as a DreamWorks movie. But yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think of that, Brad. Clearly, I don't know enough about the bees.
I
Well,
didn't know
maybe
about
you
that
should
bees.
sit and watch the bee movie again at less judgmental this time.
You know
Chinny.
what? I'm never watching the movie again. I'm just putting it out there.
That's
Like,
right.
you have
It's your
kids
loss.
and all
Buy a
they
t-shirt
wanna watch
with
is
the
B
full
movie.
script on it. Okay, I'm gonna buy that. I just wanted to
And meme
find.
culture's kept it alive too, which I love that.
Oh, definitely. It's like last week when we were talking about the Shrek movies and how memes have sort of kept them alive. I'm like, that's kind of the same shit with this. Like, I don't think people would still be talking about this movie if not for that. For the fact that, like, everyone kind of turned it into a meme.
Yeah, legit.
Which I kind of love. But yeah, I wanted to find my review. So I'm going to go on my Letterboxd real quick because my review on Letterboxd was just a recital of my favorite line from the movie, which I messaged to you guys as well. Which was right as the Barry realizes that all of the plants are gone and it's all his fault, and Vanessa's like, "Look what you've done." This is what Barry B. Benson has to say. He says, "So if there's no more pollination, it could all just go south here, couldn't it?" And then Vanessa responds with, "I know this is also partly my fault." And Barry B. Benson responds with, "How about a suicide pact?"
Oh, yeah.
I think DreamWorks forgot that this was a children's movie about a talking bee, and then they were like, "How about a suicide pact?" What the fuck? What? I want to know.
DreamWorks, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
I need to look it up because I forgot to look this up. What movie by DreamWorks, if they had any other movies in 2007, what else came out that year? Because clearly they had better people working on a different movie that wasn't this one. I'm just
I'm
putting
not
it out
having you
there.
say that.
I'm
Bee
sorry.
movie is a good movie.
Just like while you're looking that up, Chinik, it's like, like going back to last week, Shrek's like adult humor was like super, like, it wasn't like super subtle, but you know, if you were a kid, you didn't really like know what they were talking about.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but Shrek the Third was 2007, the same year as this movie, so that explains it. That
Yeah,
explains.
but we also said last week that Shrek the Third is probably one of the more weaker movies. So
But it's not as weak as this movie. I'm putting it out there. Like, fucking hell. I just
Yeah, with
God.
B movie, they're just like, let's just commit suicide, dude. Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, and then she's like, "How would we do that?" And he's like, "Oh, I sting you, you step on me." And she's like, "That'll just kill you twice." And he's like, "Oh yeah, true."
So
And
is
then they
Barry
just
B.
move on.
Benson transsexual as well? Does he have a stinger?
Well, he does have a stinger. He
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
sharpens it in a pencil sharpener at the start. So, I mean,
Oh, true.
but he
there
never
you go.
uses it. But he has it. So,
Man.
maybe they're not transsexual. Maybe they just needed better researchers for this movie.
All bee have stingers.
All bee do the sting. The only thing I really learned from this movie as a kid was that bees stinging people killed the bee. I was like, I didn't know that. That's it.
Oh, you
That's
didn't
all I
know
learned.
that?
Nope, didn't know that. Because apparently
no.
I didn't learn anything at school. But,
No. Like bees are like the most important thing keeping us all alive.
apparently,
Like
according to the
animals,
bee
yeah.
movie. Because without bees, how would
Oh my God.
how would that crashing plane survive without bees, you know? It wouldn't.
Well, there you go. Just
Yeah.
like that pilot Sullivan or whatever his name is.
Yeah. And I think it's also very important to acknowledge just the entire the look of this movie is kind of nice. But then for some reason the humans look really ugly. Like everything
That's
looks
'cause-
really nice.
Just keep the focus on the bees, maybe.
And
I
the
don't know.
humans look like shit. And it's like, you can sometimes give the excuse of like, oh, maybe they just didn't have the human design nailed, but like, they made 3 Shrek movies already. They made Over the Hedge. They made, I can't remember what else had humans in it that was before that. That was like a similar style, but they had done humans. And then for some reason the humans in this one looked significantly worse, but maybe they were more focused on the environments in this one, which is sort of what I think might have happened. Because
Well,
the
I mean, it is
environments
about
look
bees.
great. The flowers look great. And the bees look... The actual designs are ugly, but they look nice. But yeah, then the humans look really weird. That was like a weird thing for me. But anyway.
I feel like this is just a hate post about bees. Look, I'm going to be honest, and I'm low-key offended.
Never
it's not
allowed
a
honey
hate
again.
post.
Go throw your honey outside. Now.
Yep.
It's not a hate
Not allowed
post
it.
about bees. It's a hate
Crunchies,
post
not allowed
about
'em.
bee movie. Okay?
To be fair though, Ken wearing like his 2 boots on his hands is gonna haunt me for the rest of my days. That looks terrifying.
He said something about it. He says like, these ones are winter boots. They're gonna get you. And then
Yeah.
I can't remember what he says, but it's something like that.
It's so like the animation for the humans, like it just looks so weird
It's
compared to
very
like
wacky.
literally everything else in that film.
Because everything else looks really nice, and then that is just like, I don't know. It's a small gripe, but anyway, I think. Look, I
Compared to
don't know.
the rest of the gripes you have.
I don't know. Like, it's just such a fucking. It's a ride. That's what it is. It's a fucking roller coaster. This movie. I just can't even. I don't know. I don't remember it being this bizarre. I'm just putting it out there. Like, I know it's a meme, but like, all I remembered was like, you like jazz? Like, haha, very funny. And then like, the whole second half of the movie happens, and I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? But then like, you compare it
Do
to
you
other
think-
DreamWorks movies, and it's nothing. But
Do you think that if there were no B movie memes, B movie would be as forgotten as Barnyard is?
Oh, that's no Barnyard. Isn't
I would put it up
forgotten, Is
there.
it?
every now and then, I still remember
Barnyard?
Barnyard.
That
Like-
had a dope PS2 game with it as well.
You
Barnyard.
know when you just like, you know when
Made
you're
your own.
falling asleep, and then like, something pops into your head, and you're like, that doesn't belong there. Biggie cheese.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Mr. Bombastic.
I kind of want to do an episode on Barnyard now.
Yeah, put it on the list. Future
should.
episode.
Put it on the list for 2
Brad's
months.
there,
time.
Lockie's there. Team, you there?
Look, I probably will miss out on that one. Not because I don't like Barnyard, just I just feel a little attacked for the B movie right now, so I'm a little bit
Oh,
on edge.
Shut up. Okay, one last gripe I have about it before I move on.
Oh, here we go.
Could
And then you got a little
okay,
bit.
I sat there and I couldn't think of a better title. But B movie? Really? I know it like encapsulates what it's about, but like, couldn't you have gotten something a little bit more creative? I don't know.
What do you mean, kind of? The whole movie is about bees. The whole
Okay,
movie is
um,
about the
most
importance of the bees,
I
the
found though that when I was
usefulness of the
searching,
bees.
a lot of DreamWorks movies have this problem. Some of them do not. El Dorado, for example, Brad, does not have this issue, but a lot of them do. Okay, where they just name what's the name of the movie is just like the most basic thing you could think of. Like, okay, so
No, that's El Dorado
this,
too.
This movie is about a panda that knows kung fu. Kung Fu Panda, and that's it. Like, there's never, and then the sequel,
Shark
Kung
Tale.
Fu
It's
Panda
about a
2.
shark.
Yeah, the name Shark Tale does not encapsulate that it's about sharks who are the mafia, voiced by Robert De Niro and Jack Black, that try to kill a fish voiced by Will Smith that also looks like Will Smith, and they all bet on horses that seahorses that race like racehorses, and also Will Smith's fish tries to fuck Angelina Jolie as a fish. I don't think Shark Tale really encapsulates that. Like, B Movie does a little bit of a better job, but you don't see the title B Movie and go, oh yeah, that movie's going to be about a bee falling in love with a human and then that human helping him sue the human race. Like, that's not what you think.
What would you call it? What would you rename B movie?
But this is the issue, is that I sat there and I have this problem, but I don't know what I would name it. So, like,
Honey's
I'm not much
taken it.
better.
Honey's taken.
I don't know, go something like
End
The
of the
Honey
World
Trial.
by Bees.
The Honey Trial,
what?
starring
Be
Barry
fast,
B.
be
Benson.
furious.
Be fast, be furious.
Oh god.
What if they kept doing them and they did like 2B2 movie, and then they did like, what was the fucking God, I remember B movie 2.
But they just get lazy and it's just B7.
It feels like it's been so long since we fucking watched the Fast and Furious movies. Anyway,
Oh, I'm kind of glad that's in the review mirror.
yeah, it's gone. Good joke there, Brad.
Thank you, T.
Someone had to laugh at it. Look, final thoughts. I gave it 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Whoa.
Oh fuck, that's rough. Like, I'm gonna say it. That shit's rough.
'Cause it
What did
just-
you give Fast and Furious?
It's just. All right, moving on.
Yeah, exactly. I swear.
Every Fast and Furious movie got rated higher than B movie, and I don't have any regrets.
Don't even.
No remorse.
I can't enter DreamWorks, but I could go on about how terrible, bad movie Fast and Furious is. But it's fine. It's a DreamWorks movie, and I'll calm down.
I feel like we
What would
later
you have
on.
rated B movie T out of 5?
Out of 5, honestly, a 5 out of 5. I enjoy that movie. Like, I love the B movie.
5.
I have loved the B movie since I was a child. I have loved
Got
it.
that
It was like
nostalgia
one of the
factor
first
too.
movies I made Brad watch when I stayed over at Brad's house
What year were you
because it was
born,
on the
Tinny?
channel. 95.
So you were 12 when this came out?
I was just a baby. I was just a wee baby.
Because
I wouldn't say 12 as a baby. You talk about it like you grew up with it. Like, bro, it came out when you were 12. Calm down.
I grew up with it. Just because you are uncultured.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like having my culture attacked, thanks, but whatever. Okay, continuing on with the... We're still going to go alphabetical order, I assume.
I'm
which
not the
would
host.
make-
That's your job to organise, mate.
Oh, shut up.
This podcast has turned into a roast session.
Yeah, welcome to Chad Watched. Chad, Brad. Now, so speaking of Brad, you're next. You're talking about The Road to El Dorado,
The Road to El Dorado.
which I
So,
haven't
the-
actually seen. So,
Whoa.
Watch it. Fucking good. So I genuinely think this is one of the most underrated animated movies of all time, due to a few factors. One of them being it is a bit more aimed towards the adult side of animation, as in like it's a bit lots of mature themes like sacrifices, and there's even like a little bit of a sexy time bit. It's just more mature. And the other animated movies that came out at the same time, one were bops, like it was a strong time for animation and kids movies, which is 2000 it came out in, and two, the more adult themes that the parents were just naturally going to go to the more kiddie movies. So I feel like
but
that's
it's
where
weird though, because you're talking about like how good this movie is for its time, but is it as good as Chicken Run? Because I don't know, that movie that would have come out about the same time, and I'm gonna put it out there. That's an amazing movie, maybe one of the best.
All right, look, Road to El Dorado is 5 squillion times better than fucking Chicken Run, but the other movies that came out at the same time in the same year, the Emperor's New Groove.
Sorry, I just want to
Chicken-
reverse. So Teeny attacks me for attacking B movie, but are you attacking Chicken Run? I just want to know if that's
No, just if you're going to compare El Dorado and Chicken Run, don't mention Chicken Run, is what I'm saying.
Are you implying that Chicken Run is a bad movie? Because
different league? No,
It is definitely inferior.
El Dorado bops. Chinik, you need to watch that shit.
I
now.
made the right choice not inviting you to next week's podcast. That's all I'm saying.
Scoob.
There have
you know
been
what?
some hot takes today.
Teeny and I, if we came on the Scoob podcast, we were just like, not as good as Scooby Doo, the first one, is it? Whole time, I'm telling you now.
I'm just muting my mic because I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know what? You can carry it. I'm done. Make it Brad watched. I don't care. Don't get on my podcast and diss Chicken Run. That's fucking. That's treason.
No, Chicken
war
Run's
crime.
good. We like Chicken Run, but I think the quality of El Dorado is good, and it got better as I got older. I think that's where Chicken Run loses. And
Look, to be
El
fair,
Dorado
I haven't seen it,
fair.
so I can't tell you if you're right or wrong. But
it's really good. And other movies that came out in the same year was the Tigger movie, which bopped, and that's what most parents took to see their kids at the movies, because they, watched that stuff when they were growing up as well. The Grinch came out, the Flintstones, the live action Flintstones, and the Rugrats in Paris, which also bopped very, very hard.
The live action Flintstones only came out in the year 2000.
Yeah, and there's like other ones like Rocky, Bullwinkle and stuff, but El Dorado just wasn't chosen over the all the kitty movies. Or you're too old to go see an animated movie, but bop of a movie.
What's crazy to me is that whenever I talk to anyone about Road to El Dorado, they're either like, "Oh, it's such an awesome movie," or like, "Oh, it's like a really forgettable film." There's nothing really in between that I hear in people talking about it.
No, yeah, because it's I don't know if that's the people who watched it. I wonder if it's correlation between did you watch it when you're an adult or did you watch it growing up? I wonder if there's a bit of a.
Well, did you guys watched it when you were growing up? Lockie?
So we would have been 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have been 5.
So
when this one came out.
It would be kind of interesting if I watched it, which I didn't get really much time to this week, but I'm going to watch it at some point to see if that is a different perspective. Someone who hasn't seen it going into it. But
I think my gut instinct says you'd enjoy it more when you're older.
I hated it as a kid.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't like it as a kid. There was just something about it that I didn't enjoy. And then I watched it with Brad, for the first time again. And I was like, wait, this is kind of a bop of a movie.
And the whole soundtrack too is very, very consistently good. So it's Elton John, the whole movie. He does every single scene.
Really?
Does a song for every scene, and it's really well done. The main characters of it too are really good. There's only really 5 real characters with real lines and stuff in it. But that's enough. There's animals and shit in it. But But it's pretty much the two main characters, which is what's their names? Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh. So that's Tulio and Mogul. So that's they're really good. And Rosie Perez is in it as well as the little Mexican lady. But it's a bop. It is a bop.
I mean, you're selling me on it, so maybe I'll have to give it a go.
And you know what you know what it's about? Like, apart from the fact that it's El Dorado.
Well, that's what I know is El Dorado.
Cool.
And I know that
so it's
because
pretty
of Uncharted. So go.
Yeah. So pretty much the whole premise of the movie is two con men accidentally con their way into getting a map to El Dorado. They obviously get to El Dorado. I won't spoil it too much, but they have to also keep the con up that they're gods.
I said to you, I think it's okay
good.
if you spoil the movie.
It's
been out for 20 years. I'm pretty sure.
20 years. Going on 21. Fair call.
I'll allow
But
it.
yeah, give it a watch, give it a rate, Chinnick. But this one for me is definitely, if we were rating it out of 5, like 4.5 out of 5. And I think the reason it doesn't get a 5 out of 5 is because I think you compare it to other things that were getting animated and stuff that time, it's not great in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it was made by Disney, and I feel like if it had the exact same story, it had a Disney slapped on it, and sort of cartoon, made it more cartoony, I feel like it would still be a very talked about film to this day.
Yeah, I reckon you're right.
But that's El Dorado. That's on my end. I'm not sure if anyone else has anything to say on it, but it's bloody good and worth a watch.
You look at the film and it's like, it's got a cool story. Like, all the animation is top notch because it's like that classic 2D style that just looks really pretty. But then you look at like the box office and it bombed at the box office by like $20 million.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that's what I know about it now, is that it's like definitely, like I said before, it's sort of come into its own as like a cult classic rather than, like, it wasn't as popular
Yeah,
at the time.
exactly.
But I think it got a lot more popular later on in its life. And like, I think that's the same with a lot of DreamWorks movies, to be honest. But
yeah,
like,
and
they didn't all bomb. But
yeah, just unfortunate timing too on release. I really believe that this is really unfortunate timing. The year they chose to push it out. Dinosaurs was there as well. Another Disney movie that would have been advertised beyond belief.
oh my god, I haven't told this story on the podcast, but you guys know the dinosaur flubber story, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Look, long story short, I'm scarred for life by both the dinosaur movie and Flubber, because one day Dinosaurs was supposed to be on the Disney Channel, and I recorded it and got all excited because I love that movie. And then I went to watch it 2 days later, and they actually ended up showing Flubber instead of Dinosaurs, and I watched half the movie without realizing that it was Flubber because I'd never seen that movie before, and then got really upset because I realized that it was halfway through a different movie, and I hadn't even noticed. So I now can't watch either of them. But that's the Dinosaur Flubber story.
Flubber's also a bop.
Yeah, and I just can't watch it now because I watched half of it going, when's the dinosaurs going to come in? Because I was like 4, and I'm like, I can't fucking do this again. Shithouse. Just shithouse. Really shithouse on Disney's part, to change their schedule. Don't say you're
Disney
showing
Channel did
Dinosaur
that
if you're
so
going to put
often,
Flubber
though.
on. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You wouldn't say you're going to put Phineas and Ferb on and then put on Hannah Montana. You pricks.
Although both bops.
So dumb. I can't. I'll never watch it. I never watch either. I love Phineas and Ferb. That's a lie. Okay.
I do have one fan theory of El Dorado as well.
Okay.
Here we go. Play the tune. Play the tune.
Go the fan theory music, bro.
Dun 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 dun. There you go. That's a tune. And Lucky and Teeny, Chinnick, you probably won't have any idea what this is, but Tulio is an actual god. Is the theory that I found, and I believe it. he's depicted in a lot more of like the prophecies on the walls and stuff. If you pause and you do, you turn things upside down and stuff. Some of his scenes that you can catch later in the movie are going to be depicted on the walls and stuff.
Really?
Where Miguel isn't in any of those. He's only in the ones where Julio's involved. I hope I got them around the right way. No, Miguel is the actual god, and Tulio isn't. Is the thing. So Miguel, the blonde-haired man, is actually a god, and is depicted a lot more as a god on the walls and stuff than Tulio, who is just there to be, by his side.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a fan
There you
theory for every movie, or?
Look, I struggled with over the hedge.
Okay. But you've got one for Megamind, I hope.
Megamind. Oh, jeez. When we start Megamind, I'll have a quick look. I've got a page open. I didn't read too deep into it.
Well, does anyone else have anything to say about El Dorado? Because we can move on to Megamind if you want.
If you've got 80 minutes free, watch El Dorado. Yeah, it's really good.
I will, Brad. I will.
Do.
Just because you told me to.
Thank you.
So, Teeny, you've chosen to talk about my favourite Dreamworks movie.
The best, one of the best. I can't say the best. They have a whole handful range of best DreamWorks movies, but this is one of the best.
Forgotten. Let's say it's the best of the non-franchise DreamWorks movies.
Ooh.
So, like, Shrek,
I
Kung
can
Fu
understand
Panda, and How to Train Your Dragon, they don't count. But this, I would say,
I would still fight
is
that
my
B
favourite.
movie is also a favourite.
Fuck you. This movie's better than B movie. This movie is god tier. I love Megamind.
If you ever see Chinnick eating a crunchy Tinny, I hope you just slap the fucker out of his hand.
Now, I've
would
got
do
something to
that
admit
anyway.
here. Now it's my turn to admit I've never seen the film. I've never seen Megamind.
Why the fuck haven't you seen Megamind?
I don't know. Like,
Same
it's just
reason
one
you
of those
haven't
films
seen
I've never
Eldorado.
gotten around to.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's just good. Okay.
It's DreamWorks' best kept secret.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. And Teeny, I didn't bring this up to you before because I wanted to bring it up in the podcast, but did anyone notice the little Anchorman reference?
What?
No, there's an Anchorman reference in Megamind.
When?
There's a squirrel water skiing,
Oh, fuck.
which is
I
what
did
they
not
reported
notice.
on in the first Anchorman. Was like one of the first stories that you saw him do in the opening sequence of Anchorman.
That's a
So I did a
classic.
little Will Ferrell tip of the hat, and I loved it.
Man,
You
I
I'm
also
gonna
love-
have to
saw-
go back and watch that.
We also saw the Walking Dead reference.
Yeah, there's lots of good pop culture references in it that I didn't notice the first time I watched it. So, yeah, the DVD cover of The Walking Dead, where one side of the road's chock-a-block and you can't move, and then going into the city is just one singular vehicle. Going back into the city, they did a little nod to that as well. I love it. I love nods.
Man, I love Megamind. It's fucking good. It's so... Anyway, Teeny, you could talk about it. It's your movie. Say what
Okay.
you want about it.
So, Megamind. Where do we start with this adorable blue alien / human? He looks like a human but has a massive ass head.
Now,
He's blue.
this movie, while you're talking about his big blue head, I was trying to
Yes.
think in my head, like, oh, who voices him again? And it's Will Ferrell.
It's Will Ferrell, and I forget every time. And every time I put this movie on and the opening voice starts, I'm like, holy shit.
It's one of the best voice casts that I think DreamWorks have ever had. Over the Hedge is close, but this is like
Here-
supreme. It's good.
Here are some names. We have
Please
Will
rattle.
Ferrell,
Okay.
Brad Pitt, Tina Fey.
Wait.
Jonah Hill.
Hold up. Who's Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt is Metro Man.
The Metro Man, the big superhero.
No. Who's Brad Pitt? I don't know him.
Right.
No.
We've got David Cross.
Oh fuck! What?
We have Ben Stiller. We have
Yeah, who-
Justin Theroux.
Oh my god!
Like,
And
so
Ben Stiller
good.
helped produce it too, which I chucked that out into a mention.
Who did?
It was like his production company helped with that movie.
Who?
Ben Stiller's.
Oh fuck! Really?
Yeah.
That's fucked. I didn't even know that. That's fucking awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's so good. I very vividly remember before I saw the movie, they I think it might have been one of the first times I ever saw them do this. But you know how like sometimes some studios will put up like the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of their movie on YouTube. I think Megamind was one
Oh,
of the first
God.
instances I saw of it. And I remember like the opening scene is one of my favorite scenes ever, and I guess also because like what year did this come out, Teeny?
2010.
Okay, 2010. So I was 10. Or I would have been probably about to turn 10. Oh no, I'd be 11. What am I talking about? Be 11. And I think like because I grew up with like a lot of superhero shit, like that was kind of the thing I was into as a kid. And then to see like this movie that just fucking makes fun of all of it was like really, really good. And I love that like his origin is just such like a fucking, it's such a rip-off of Superman, but they know it and they make it very obvious, and they're like, yeah, this is Superman, but like he's a villain now. I kind of love that, but it's not the best part of the movie by far, but it's good. And I remember it very vividly because they uploaded the first like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was to YouTube. And then I think I watched that like 3 times and went, yeah, I gotta see this movie. Okay.
It's a real good movie. Just mwah.
And I have to say, in the last sequence that I did in the last fight scene, I genuinely got pissed off for a minute because I was like, what's his name? Metro Man just comes in and saves the day, and then I'm like, oh, Megamind tried. I was
Mega
like,
Man.
that's fucking Mega Man.
Oh man,
was like,
Mega
dude,
Man didn't win. Damn it.
No, but I was like, oh, Megamind, he just what a fucking shit end to a movie. He just kind of tried his hardest, but you know, this bloke just comes out of nowhere, and they did the old bait and switch, which was good. And then yeah, but I was like really got heated watching it this time. I was like, what the fuck? Why would you end it like that?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And I think again it's kind of another it's a forgotten one. I think a lot of people just don't even remember it exists. But it's one of those ones where like people forget it, and then you say, oh, remember Megamind, and they're like, oh my god, I love that movie, like,
Yeah.
but no one ever thinks about it. You know.
No. I remember when I first watched it, and it's when they first kind of like won the whole shebang, and they go into the town hall like office area, and they like Megamind has to like tell Minion to like start coming in, and he's like just standing there, and you can see his big shadow still holding the boombox above his head, and they start giggling and like talking about having to move over, and like they can still see you. I'm like, that's just that's just
It's iconic.
brilliant.
And correct me if I'm wrong. That's Alvin and the Chipmunks manager, isn't it? The fish.
It surely is.
Yes.
David
I
Cross.
love
So good. There you go.
I love
did say
that David Cross, a quite prolific comedian
Gotta be
who
remembered.
is
Known
famous
as-
for Arrested Development. There was
That-
the one where he was like in a hospital and he was a doctor. And you went, yeah, he's Alvin and the Chipmunks manager, isn't he?
I reckon I'm with most of the people that know him would first go. Shit,
I think that's
Alvin and
the
Chipmunks dude.
The first thing I saw him in. But I guess like because I got so into Arrested Development, I remember him from that now. But yeah, that was definitely the first time I saw him. But But it's just funny to hear it like that. Like, oh yeah, Alvin and the Chipmunks manager. Yep, yep, moving on. It's just like really funny. I don't know. Can I add that one to the list? Alvin and the Chipmunks franchise. Sounds good. How many of those are there?
Oh
4?
my god.
That episode would probably last 2 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, at least 2
There'd be
hours.
so much to say. Let's just talk about the intro scene to the first Alvin and the Chipmunks for 2 hours, where they're singing "Bad Day." That's just—it's a masterpiece, really.
It's just they picked one of the worst songs to ever come out in the history of music.
And improved it drastically.
What about
Like-
which one was the one where they accidentally cripple Dave? Which one is that? The second one or the third one?
Poor
That's the
Dave.
second one. That is the second one.
Second one. They cripple him, and
Is
then
that one
his
called
cousin.
Two Chip, Two Monk?
Yeah, it is. Two Chip, Two.
No, they've got good names too. They got like Chipwrecked and
The road.
the Squeakle.
Chip, the Squeakle. Classics.
Oh, Teeny, that is so good.
We have to watch those.
What names?
But yeah, I love Megamind. I think that's a movie where if people haven't seen it, I'm like, you gotta watch it. And like, it's probably
The
similar to how Brad
soundtrack
is.
too.
Yeah,
the
that's
soundtrack's
a
real
good,
good.
soundtrack.
Like
gonna pull that up.
Akadaka, can you beat Akadaka?
Yeah, that is pretty good. And that was definitely just a reference to Iron Man, because it was like right after Iron Man came
Yeah.
out. But I kind of love that. Megamind soundtrack. I'm looking it up just to tell Lockie because I think it's important that everyone knows the
It's a
Megamind soundtrack.
classic rock.
Okay, you got Bad to the Bone. A Little Less Conversation by Elvis Presley.
Oh.
Highway to Hell. Crazy Train.
Yes, that was a good
Mr.
bit
Blue
too.
Sky, which I forgot was in it. Back in Black as well. Bad by Michael Jackson. Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. I mean, come on. Come on. That's a good soundtrack.
That's an all-time soundtrack.
Very good. All of that is good. I mean, that just sounds like a Lockie playlist anyway. If that's not enough to sell you on the movie.
I'll just listen to like an audiobook of it. Make a mind.
I think the other thing too is that while Dreamworks have some pretty, let's say average movies, I'm not going to say B movie, but I mean B movie, I think their concepts are always really interesting. If you compare them to like yeah, Disney movies have interesting concepts. Like I'm thinking like Moana and like Zootopia. They're creative, but the actual plot itself is very by the book. Like it's exactly how you expect it to go most of the time. Whereas Dreamworks
I mean, they're mostly
movies,
based off of Brothers Grimm's and like nursery rhymes or like legends. Or,
yeah, a lot of the time, and like the newer ones, again, the concepts are creative, but the plots are very like exactly what you expect.
Like I'm pretty sure in like Moana, the culture that they base it off is like all of like the islander kind of like Samoan, Hawaiian.
Yeah, which
Uh,
is cool.
Other ones that are there that my brain can't pick
The
up right now.
Polynesian ones.
Yeah, that they all have that kind of like very much like, you know, treat the earth gods, and
Yeah.
they all kind of really strongly believe in that.
I just think like the general plot structure, as in like if you just put it right down to the basics of like Moana is just a girl wants to escape her home and she has to save the world with the help
Yeah.
of someone who, and they don't get along. It's a silly adventure time. Like when you put it down to the basics of it, it's like that. But like with Dreamworks movies, it's like, how do you put Megamind down to that level? Like you can't really.
How did you come up with that?
Yeah, and like you can't put B movie to that even. You can't be like, oh, it's about, like if you say to someone, the basic plot of B movie, oh, it's about a bee who wants to escape the hive and falls in love with a human woman, and then together they sue the human race, but it ends up destroying the Earth. So then they have to save the Earth by traveling and taking down the honey farms, but also bringing them back up again. It's like, what the fuck? You can't, like, and Megamind's the same thing. It's like, how do you explain it like that? Like, the concepts.
You can just explain them in quick life lessons.
Pretty
you
much.
can do Shrek. Ugly people can be in fairy tales too. That's Shrek.
Ugly people
and then
can
B
be
movies
hot too.
Yeah, B movies. B's are important. El Dorado. Money doesn't make you happy. What's the other one? Over the hedge. Don't kill critters.
Don't go over the hedge.
Don't go over the hedge.
Mega
Don't
Mind.
jump over bushes.
Over the hedge. Don't make a deal with a bear that you can't keep up. It's important, you know?
Megamind is not all baddies want to be baddies. Some of them want to be goodies.
It's never
Some
too
of
late
them
to
do.
change.
I think as a kid, part of me was like, that kind of annoyed me because I was like, I wanted to watch a movie about a bad guy, and then he ended up being the good guy. But like, now I'm like, I love it. But as a kid, I'm like, I came here to watch a villain, not a hero. Stinky. And then now I watch it now, and I'm like, no, actually, it's really well done, and I like it. So
I feel like DreamWorks have more of a complex thing, like more of a complex plot lines, more
their
plot lines that you have to
lines
actually
are
think about.
always more complex. Even like Shrek Forever After is like about him being sick of family life and wanting to go back to the way he was before he was married. And then like the moral of the story is like, you know, not that.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
may be hard, but like you're gonna miss it.
yeah, appreciate what you've got, like, type thing. But it's like, as a kid, like, I mean, I got it because when the movie came out, I was 11. But like, my brother, who was however old he was, 5 at the time, like, he wouldn't have gotten it as easily,
Yeah.
I don't think. Which I think is where DreamWorks sort of, they actually shine well with that. But then the issue is sometimes they push it too far, and then kids don't like the movies, and then they don't watch them again. And then they're like, I'm just going to watch The Incredibles again. And it's like, that's where DreamWorks sort of lost out. But yeah, Megamind, I like it.
Good 10 out of 10 movie, or 5 out of 5,
I
or
would definitely
5.
go 4.5.
5 out of 5.
5 mm-mm-ms.
And great, you've got Chinnick sued from Roller Coaster.
Elliot's gonna knock on his doorstep and be like, "Did you steal my mm-mm-ms?"
And I'd be like, I didn't steal the mm-mm-ms, Teeny stole the mm-mm-ms, so it wasn't me. You have to censor them. Instead, for every time you say I'll just replace it with Brad going, fan theory, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Speaking of fan theories, the only one I could find for Megamind is that Megamind do 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 do.
Has it been a different jingle every time?
I
Yes.
think so.
No, it's just there. It's just there so Chinnick knows when to put it in.
Yes.
But
Tell us
but
your
the
theory.
it's a shit one.
Alright.
It's by Screen Rant, so
Calling it out screen rant.
okay.
Yeah.
He
Screen
he can
rant.
only change into people that he's physically scanned. So who is Space Dad? And the fan theory suggests, with not enough information, suggests that it's Metro Man's dad, which is dumb.
Wow, I'm so glad you
don't
brought in
get
the jingle to tell me a fan theory that you yourself have already shot down.
Yep.
I love a
That's the only one I
segment
could find.
about
Only one I
fan
could
theories
find.
where you come in and go, so I have a fan theory, but I don't actually think it's true. But like,
Amazing. Run the jingle again. Run it again.
doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-boop. There it goes. That's the jingle.
Bibbidi-boop.
Next one's gonna be like beep bop biddy boop boop.
Literally changes every time. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll move on to the last one.
Let's do it.
Oh boy.
So Lockie.
Before we
Yeah.
start, I've never seen Over the Hedge. I think I've seen maybe the first 5 minutes.
Why not? I
You'd
don't.
like it,
Whoa.
Sizzle.
I
So we've all
just-
missed out on one of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy,
There
I
you go.
definitely think you'd like Over the Hedge.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
want to preface this, like before I start going into it, the Madagascar video game had like this secret thing you could unlock, where it'd be a clip of Bruce Willis in a backyard with a white picket fence behind him saying like, "Hey, I'm Bruce Willis and I voice RJ in the upcoming film Over the Hedge."
Dude, I
And
remember
he's full,
that.
and he full goes into it like, "Oh, this is the best animated film ever because I play a goddamn raccoon who's indebted to a bear."
Incredible. Honestly. I mean,
It's just like, I don't know. I'm very conflicted about Over the Hedge. That's all. That's like, I like it because it has a lot of charm to it, but at the same time, it's just so dumb. Over the Hedge is very dumb.
okay.
Who's the cast in it? I'm
The
gonna have a look at
cast
the cast.
is insane. The cast
It
is
has
so
an-
good.
All-time cast, awesome cast.
Okay.
Bro, it does.
Oh, William Shatner,
Yeah.
Eugene
Steve
Levy,
Carell.
Avril Lavigne.
Mm-hmm. It's
How'd
incredible.
they fuck Nick? No,
It has a lot higher rating than I expected it to have on
Eugene Levy.
on-
Wow, no, that's impressive.
It's all time.
I feel
Also,
like we've all picked.
The yeah, shit. No, like every person I'm looking at this, I'm like, fuck, that's like a really good cast, hey.
Ariel Winter's in it.
She would
As
have been
well?
young in that though.
Yeah, her name's
Yeah,
literally
man.
Voice.
Yeah, fucking hell. What a
Crazy.
okay. What
That was rude.
over the
So
hedge?
like,
I don't know where to start on that. Like,
neither do I. Like, I don't even know where to start with this movie. It's just, it's a lot happens in this film in such a short amount of time. You've got like the animals that are just living in peace. You've got RJ who comes in and he's like, "You know what? You guys are foragers. Come with me. Let's just fuck up a whole town's lives by just racking all their shit, bringing it back to our joint. It'll be fun as."
I love the soundtrack. And the only reason I'm
Yeah,
saying
the
that now
soundtrack.
is because I'm thinking of the scene where they're doing that. They're like looting the suburbs, and it's just playing
Yeah.
"Rock in the Suburbs" by Ben Folds because he did the whole soundtrack, and it's so
Yeah, he
fucking
did.
good.
All the song works for each scene, but then like, so the soundtrack's good, but then you've got the animation, which is like, it's good at some points, but then really like obviously bad at others.
Yeah,
The scene I'm thinking of, it's like the landscapes and the forest and stuff look really cool, and the like main characters like RJ and like, I'm gonna say Vern, even though you see his ass for like a quarter of the film, you're only looking at his ass for like quarter of the film. He's animated all right, pretty well as well, but then like the porcupines and like the what is it, the possums, dude, you can tell they didn't spend like as much time on them. It's really weird.
yeah, I feel like that's definitely true.
And can we just talk about like, I don't know, like Hammy, dude? What
One of the
is
best
your opinion on
animated
Hammy,
characters
Chinnick?
ever.
What do you think of?
I would honestly say, Hammy, is one of the greatest characters of all time.
I'm glad you said that. I'm
Here we
glad
go.
you said that.
Here we go.
I know Despicable Me came out after this movie, well after this movie, but Gru walked so that Hammy could run. Steve Carell fucking pulls it off. And I feel like it's one of those roles that he did where like you don't really I think now he's sort of come into more of like a serious acting phase. But back then he played a lot of like comedic jokey characters, but this is like another level for him where it's like he's playing a hyperactive squirrel who they give coffee on purpose to make him go more hyperactive. And it just, he
He
pulls it off.
saves the whole. He saves his family by like going so hyper that he slows down time. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't think anyone could pull it off as well as he does for the voice.
Legit.
But I think like the hyperactive animation really helps that.
Oh, definitely. Hammy is one of the characters that looks like the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like they just every time he's like zipping around, and then when he's made to look like really like rabid, they just make it look really cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it is one of Steve Carell's best roles, and it's just
Legit.
I love it. It's so good.
I don't even know how he did that. Like a lot of none of his work has been like as crazy as that, at least in my opinion.
No way. No. Like that is, even Gru is not on that level, and that's like an animated
Yeah,
character as well. But he never pulls Gru off at a level like that, and it's just like the amount of energy that he had recording that is insane. And especially even if you watch videos of him doing it, it's just like he was not holding back. Like I'm talking like Eddie Murphy as Donkey levels of commitment to that role, where he was just like full energy the whole time. You can't even imagine like how fucking tired he would be after voice recording that
Yeah.
character. Like fuck.
Seriously.
No, he doesn't get tired. He was on the coffees.
Oh yeah, of course he's on the copies.
It's on the coffees and the energy drinks.
Yeah.
Was one disguise in every animated movie in the like from 2000 to 2010?
Pretty
I feel
much.
Like she was in
Pretty much.
lots of them.
Yeah.
Barnyard being one of them.
Barnyard. What a fucking classic. Can we just talk about Barnyard forever? Never talk about anything else.
Can we just talk about that opening scene where they're surfing down the hill?
That is a classic.
On a
think we
barnyard.
should.
Yeah.
da-da-da-da.
All udders out.
All that.
Gross.
I like to move it. That's my favourite pun in the whole movie.
So something that shocked, like, kind of like got to me is that, like, in Over the Hedge, they refer to the other animals, like, you know, Hammy and like RJ and stuff, as what they are, squirrels and raccoons and stuff. But not once in the whole film did they say that Vern's a turtle. They never say it. They only
What
call
the
him like a reptile or an amphibian. They never call him a turtle.
Is that on purpose?
Is
I don't
is
know.
he a turtle or is he a tortoise?
Oh,
Oh,
But that's what I'm
Oh.
thinking. Is it on purpose? Is it
maybe
supposed to be
because it's like not
ambiguous?
even not even his friends call him what he is. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Ooh.
But maybe it is on purpose now, and I'm thinking back on it.
I think, okay, this is something that when you talk about like friends in that movie, like his friends, I think one of the things I feel is missing from B movie compared to Megamind and Over the Hedge is the heart to it. I feel
Yeah.
like B movie doesn't have that as much as as this movie does, as Over the Hedge. Like the scene where he comes back and he gives them all the shit and
Ah,
he gives them all presents, and I'm like, that's beautiful.
and then
just
like he
hands out all
comes
the
back and they're
presents.
like, "Hey, we've set up a little room for you. Here you go.
It's so
like a
nice.
TV and a little couch."
I love it, and I feel like B
Let's just
movie
sit down.
misses that mark, whereas like Megamind really gets it, and this gets it. Can't speak for El Dorado, but like a lot of other DreamWorks movies do it. Like Shrek obviously does. I think that's something Madagascar kind of nails, but yeah, I feel like Over the Hedge is like one of the more. It's got some more heartfelt moments in it, I guess, because the whole concept of it is it's like about basically a broken family, but with
Yeah.
animals, like, and it's like, you know, they're obviously not related. If they were, that would be weird, but they're like a family that they've built, and I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, I really like the characters in that movie a lot, and I think having that group be like, yeah, a broken family. Like, oh, they're just like misfits and they've all ended up together in this like neck of the woods. It's just, I don't know. I really like that part of it at least. But
Yeah, like you guys were talking about the message about over the hedge before, and it's like definitely got to be something about like, sticking with your family or at least sticking with the people that care about you, Because
Exactly.
those animals go through some crazy shit.
yeah, they like flat out almost die multiple times.
Yeah.
I think the best scene in the movie is when there's too many best scenes to talk about, but I guess the two best scenes are when the possum pretends to be dead on the road, which is just it's amazing. And then the second best is when they disguise the skunk as a cat, and they have the male cat at the house that's guarding the house, and it's like hitting on her,
The horny little bastard.
and he's just like the
Yeah,
horniest
legit.
cat in the world. I fucking love that scene. But also,
And he joins their family as well.
I know
That cat.
the whole movie. When I watch this movie, all I think about is the PS2 game for this movie. I know you're talking about the PS2 game for Madagascar having a Easter egg about this movie, but the game for this movie is fucking incredible. Chloe and I were talking about it the other day. It's so good. Because it's like a stealth game. It's like Splinter Cell, but with animals. It's fucking incredible.
What?
It's insane.
It's so
It's good stuff.
It's like a full stealth game where you play as the different character. I can't remember if it's all of them or if you just play as RJ and Vern. But yeah, every level is like a stealth level. Because there's a lot of that in this movie, so it makes sense. But like, there's one where you have to break into that house, and you have to like go around the kitchen, and steal stuff. And then there was one where like you have to go through the backyard that has all the lasers, and you have to like dodge all the lasers. And if any of them catch you, then you have to restart. It's a very, very good game.
God, yeah.
Is
Are we
your
excited to
emulator that
see
you're
Shrek
using?
back in Pro Skater games? In the remastered Pro Skater
God,
games?
yes.
How good.
Which Pro Skater game
Dude,
had
get-
Shrek in it?
I think Shrek was the first one.
Okay, so they should bring him back,
Wasn't it?
shouldn't they?
Surely.
Yeah.
For the-
Remastered
for the
Shrek. I want to see on a skateboard.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie, Lockie? Because I could sit here just gushing about how much I love it all day, because it's fucking...
It is a very like good film. It's like I'd summarize it as it's DreamWorks. It's not a classic, but it's like the best non-classic DreamWorks film in my opinion.
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean by that, too.
People sag on Over the Hedge a lot, and like it has its like flaws, but it's just such a like cool film, very heartful film that
It really
it's a joy to
surprised
watch.
me when I looked it up and saw like how highly reviewed it is. Like, it's not like
Yeah,
crazy, but like, 4 out of 5.
like 6 and 7s.
And like 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, that's pretty crazy for... Like, I didn't expect that for this movie. But
And it was crazy at the
like a
box office
48.
too.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see what DreamWorks' most critically acclaimed movie is. Let's take our
We've also
guesses.
forgotten about Hammy's Boomerang Adventure.
Oh, man.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I've
The
just
short,
found
wasn't it?
I've just found a review for it, and it goes as follows. Hammy's Boomerang Adventure is a tear-jerking drama about how a squirrel is coming to terms to the fact that he will never catch a boomerang. The
Aw.
performances from Wilson, Shatner, and Thomas Hayden, can't say his last name, are striking and honest. The drama will make Mike Tyson stream rivers from his eyes. And of course,
What?
Hammy, voiced by Gru the Minion, gives the performance of his life and will make the most stubborn, closed-minded people rethink their whole existence. One of the best DreamWorks animated shorts based off of the film Over the Hedge, 2 Hammies out of .6666 Gru Minions.
Aw.
What?
Gru the Minion.
I will screenshot that to keep that safe, and we need to
That
frame
is
it.
great. That is great. question for everyone: which out of the 4 movies, I've noticed we haven't done any that have sequels. Which movie out of the 4 that we've done deserves a sequel?
Oh,
Mega-
Not
Mind.
B movie.
I would say not El Dorado 2 because it finished so neatly.
And I feel the same about Over the Hedge. So I guess it has
Yeah,
to be
Megamind
I-
could have a double. It could have a
Megamind
don't
sequel.
want-
could.
I don't want those animals to go through any more bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Over
They
the
need
Hedge
to
deserve
keep
to have a
be
chill.
a happy family forever.
Coming up in Over the Hedge 2, Hammy's Roadkill.
Fuck you.
Turns out RJ was just pulling the long con and is gonna fuck him over again.
Oh,
Okay.
what's the turtle's name? Vern.
Oh.
Vern's actually a salamander.
Okay. I want to
living in
do
a shell.
something.
Wow.
I want to do something. Tina's just made me think of this by looking at a review for Hammy's. What was it called? Hammy's Boomerang Adventure. Is that what
Boomerang
it's called?
Adventure.
That's
Yes,
terrible.
yes.
Okay, I want to look at on Letterboxd, which you guys might not know what that is, but it's a movie review app. I want to look every time we're talking about a movie. I want to look at like 1-star reviews for each movie because there's always 1-star reviews, and I want to see what they say. Let's start with Road to El Dorado to just really trigger Brad. So someone says 1 star. This is David, by the way, it's his name. Straining for humour in all the wrong places. Teasing depth just often enough to make us feel like it must ultimately have something it wants to say, but it just can't quite get it out. A boring, frustrating movie that treats religion, sexuality, friendship, and evil all wrong. How do you feel about that one, Brad?
Dave, you're a fuckwit.
Okay, how about this one from Dylan? Racist and sexist, offers absolutely nothing redeeming other than something to stare at mindlessly while you slowly gulp down tea to help cure a wretched hangover.
Oh my god.
Jesus. These people are angry.
They are very angry.
Very angry.
Final one from another D name. Dreher is his name, so you already know it's going to be bad. This film was dumb. The 1 star is for the animators who worked on this film. Yeah, people didn't like that one, Brad. Putting it out there.
No. Idiots.
On to,
I found a really good one from Megamind when we're ready.
I was going to go B movie, but you can take Megamind after I've done B movie if you want. Like, it's all yours.
Mine is a positive review. I'm not
Oh,
looking for
fuck
any
you. I'm looking for negativity.
negativity in these places. I'm looking for straight positivity.
I'm looking for negativity. Okay.
Yeah, you would.
Okay, this one is a half star
Oh.
for B movie, and it says
Oh,
How much was
honestly,
this one for, sorry?
it says honestly, this movie might be fine, but I worked at Rite Aid for a summer, and this played on the TV behind the counter every single day. And after viewing 27, I hated this movie more than anything else on the planet. So to be fair, Tinny, that doesn't shit on the movie. That shits on the experience.
Damn.
Yeah, you know what's Rite Aid?
You know, in the end, what is that?
What is it?
What
What's
is
that?
that?
Wait, I
Is
don't
that
know.
a chemist?
I don't know. Oh my god, this is so long. I want to read this whole review because this is incredible. This one. Okay.
Yeah, give it to me.
1 star from. His name is just Wood. That's his name. Okay.
Oh, here we go. We can't even trust it.
I can't believe this is a real movie. Who is this even for? What the fuck is going on here? Chris Rock's mosquito character is kind of funny. Is that Larry King as a bee? Is that Sting? 40 minutes of this is a court case. I bet kids love this. Who read the script for this and said okay with it? It goes from sex jokes to really shitty drama just acted out with bees. Why did they just shoot Winnie the Pooh? World War B? He just suggested a suicide pact in a kids movie. At this point, I was completely in shock and was just pointing at the screen and shaking my head. Is he hijacking a plane? He's literally taking over a fucking plane. And it ends with a cover of Here Comes the Sun. He jacked this dude's wife. Holy shit. And that's it.
Do you want to know what I hear? An uncultured hater.
Where? Okay,
Seems
I'll
like,
do
yeah, this is
Over
a
the
completely...
Hedge. And then Tierney can do her
One for Over the
positivity.
Hedge.
You've got one for Over the Hedge. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm
I
going to
just
set
need to
mine. Over the
get-
Hedge, already hard to find one that's low because they're all coming up high.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, are we supposed to laugh at the turtle showing his ass to the audience? Or when the skunk farts? Did you laugh when the squirrel said the hedge is called Steve and the movie tried to pass it off as a joke? How can Steve be the punchline to you? Do you think it has a name? What is this movie? Oh, and also, how come all the animals spend the whole summer looking for shit to stuff the log with for the winter, and at the end of the movie when all the food is destroyed, it takes the shitty raccoon like 5 minutes to gather enough nuts to fill the entire thing as reconciliation for his actions during the entire movie? Realistically, all the animals should have died during a cold and hungry winter, and the raccoon crimes would never be remembered, for every witness would have perished because of them. What the fuck?
Wow, that was a lot. A lot.
I've got a short review here from a person named Alexandra. They say, "Gah, this movie is my worst ever. I will not afford this because this is similar as Skylanders. I think this movie was extremely childish, and my 10 and 6-year-old both thought it was boring. Overall, I would not recommend it, and the jokes are terribly lame. 1 star."
Like Skylanders.
Skylanders.
It's my worst movie ever.
Oh, that's the most Karen response ever.
That's so funny. I love that so much.
I'm just thinking back to that review saying that all the animals would die. Like, before going into it.
All the animals should have
Crazy,
died.
man.
What the apparently there was a
Right.
Megamind short film too, by the way.
Oh.
Okay, here's my one from Sebastian. A sad, heartbreaking tale about Blue Lives Matter movement. This movie had me in tears from start to end. The social commentary is honest and striking, reflects our world perfectly. Though there are no superheroes in our world, as I've recently found out. Before he was Sherlock Holmes and Watson, Will Ferrell gave this performance and its rivals his deep and honest portrayal of the magician. Alex the Lion, Ben Stifler, gives a brief but impactful performance as Bernard the janitor. This is a great starting film for the great Will Ferrell start, especially since he is Holmes. A great starting film for my boy. 10 Meteor Mans out of Watson.
Beautiful.
I also want to point out that was incredible. While I was looking for Megamind reviews, I clicked on the director's name accidentally, and it kind of makes sense why this movie's so good, because he also directed all 3 Madagascar movies.
Oh.
But the other
There you
problem
go.
I have that completely kills that theory, he also directed Boss Baby.
Oh.
That's-
Can we round this out with some honorable mentions before we leave of DreamWorks movies?
I feel like we have to.
Honestly.
Okay, let's go reviews of Megamind, rated 1 star, because they're always fun. Okay. What the fuck? Some of these are just bizarre. And also some of them are just boring, so that's why I'm not doing a lot of those. Okay, that one's too long. Back when... What the fuck?
Oh god, here we go.
Okay, this person, Garrett McMahon, said, back when Something Awful was writing regular movie reviews, they called out the tendency of mostly all the non-Pixar animation studios to end their films with all the characters singing or dancing to something. It's here, it's in Shrek, Horton Hears a Who, Despicable Me, it's probably in the Lorax too, and once you see it, you'll never unsee it. That's a mood, honestly.
Wow. Wow.
I've got a review of Turbo by Ethan here. Tony the Snail tries to win a race. What a good epic movie. I wish Turbo 2 would come out. That would make me one happy fella. God, I hate my parents. Fuck! Good movie, good soundtrack. Life is a highway. I want to ride it all night. Bye bye.
What?
That was just Hammy
he
having
say-
some coffee.
Did he say bye-bye at the end?
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Perfect.
bye bye.
Um, I'm going to read a review for Shark Tale.
Oh god, here you go. Okay.
Okay. If anything keeps me up at night, it's when people discuss the great mid-2000s DreamWorks era of animation, i.e. Shrek, Madagascar, Flushed Away, but everyone forgets the one with a vegan shark and Martin Scorsese as a pufferfish serving as a homage to The Godfather.
Whoa.
It's so bad. This movie was truly ahead of its time. Instead of celebrities, they hired small and upcoming YouTubers Will Smith and Jablinski Games to voice their leads. Take note, Hollywood. This is what we want.
Fucking hell.
Fuck, that's good. But yeah, anyway.
Jesus.
I'm gonna stop reading reviews, but I guess we'll do like Teeny said quickly. Honorable mentions.
I have an honorable mention of Flushed Away
Oh,
with
that was
a
almost what I chose.
review. With a review. I freaking love this movie. It's just a classic. No one can't forget, and one that I will love for all eternity. Remember the fat rat watching soccer, and then the clean rat getting flushed away down the toilet? I'm an expert on all things rodents, and this is a classic that deserves to go down as a best Disney Pixar Paramount Pictures classic movie of history. Remy the Rat made a guest appearance in the classic film as well. Sadly, he died. Rip Remy.
Rip Remy, bro.
I don't know why
Rip
they did
Remy.
a way yay down the
Oh, way,
toilet.
yay, yay, Okay, we're gonna get political on this one, because my main honorable mention is Monsters vs. Aliens. And the review says, the president playing Axel F by Crazy Frog on a keyboard in front of a giant alien proves even he's more qualified than Donald Trump will ever be. And honestly, I feel that, you know?
Whoa.
Just, some people's reviews. Mwah.
Some people just really go for it. This is
Totally.
another one about the Axel F thing. No wonder aliens are scared to make contact if the president is just going to play Axel F to communicate.
If I could chuck in my honourable mention, mine would be Home. I actually really like that.
I haven't seen that movie.
It's really good. It's
It's a good movie.
Rihanna and Big Bang
Baboingo.
Theory Sheldon.
It's Baboingo.
Bazinga.
Babingo. Lockie? What's your
My
number
honorable
one
mention
honorable
is
mention?
the first DreamWorks film I ever watched, and that is Spirit. Spirit is a
Ooh.
goddamn amazing film. That's a
I
go
have not
film.
seen that either, to be honest.
That's good.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Dude, I feel like
movie.
we'll also be like doing it injustice, talking about the B movie so much, but Ants.
Ants is good.
Ants, baby.
Oh, good. All right, Chinik, what's yours? What's your
Kenny,
honourable
what are you
mention?
sending?
Just some really good reviews.
I kinda
that
wanna
you
read
can
that.
read a little.
I'm going to read that one out just because it's by a guy with the profile name Mr. Worldwide Dale. This is
Oh, no.
This is about Flushed Away. This is one of the best movies of all time. It rivals all, this is all in caps. It rivals all movies everywhere and is truly the voice of a generation. I don't know why it isn't taught in every school in the world, but it should have a cult following that rivals Shrek. The soundtrack, animation, and overall plot brought music to my ears, tears to my eyes, and spice to my life. Watch it, your life will be forever changed. And 12 people found that helpful on Google. So there's that for you.
Imagine the voice of a generation being a film about getting flushed down a fucking toilet, bro.
Movie of our
And then
Voice of a
it's a fire
generation.
Toad.
I think I love Flushed Away, but it kind of frustrates me because it's the same like animation style as like Wallace and Gromit.
Yes.
Yes.
but it's not. Like, it is the same, but it's computer generated, not like traditional stop motion like they do. So it's like a weird blend, but it kind of works for this movie. But I guess like that would be my last honorable mention, without talking about like the franchise ones, because obviously like Madagascar and How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda are like masterpieces. But Curse of the Were-Rabbit is the greatest movie ever made, and I just want to end on that. Like, that is the best movie that exists. It's so good. That movie is the GOAT.
Curse of the Were-Rabbit is very good, and I will not argue that at all.
Tierney, I'm going to need you to stop sending reviews, because every one you send makes me want to read it again. I don't want to keep talking about Flushed Away, but I have to talk about this one. Okay. This is the last review, I promise, and then the podcast will be over, but just sit through this one by someone called Arik Minor. Okay? Okay, so basically the rat boy Templeton does the thing, and then... I can't even say it. And Tiggin, they doggy man, dies. A Wilbur says, cool beans. So then what I do, I say, pig no. But then the Charlotte spins the web and then say, Ratatouille boy, cook food.
Wow.
I give it an G/11.787. Kind of brought a tear to my fash, but sorta racist with the Frog Boys. What the fuck, T?
What just happened?
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that.
My
Okay,
favorite
so
part
basically-
was, but then the Charlotte spins the web and then say, Ratatouille boy, cook food.
Ah.
I give it a G.11 out of 7.7, honestly.
So
We didn't
it's
even
just-
talk about Flushed Away. We just read reviews. Oh, that's so good.
Ugh.
On that note, I feel like I have to end it. I'm gonna cry if I keep reading reviews about Flushed Away.
Oh my god.
That was top shit. I'm gonna keep that review thing going because I like that a lot. Okay,
Yes, I like that.
that was top shit.
Boom, in one podcast you got two new segments. You got Brad's
Of
theories.
Brad's fan
And the
theories.
review-
Do 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 do
and
Get up,
reviews.
people.
do.
I need like a big red button that goes do 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 and stops the podcast, and I can say my
It
thing.
stops everything.
Really
It just
abruptly.
goes fan theory. That's fucking funny as. But yeah, on that note, I guess. Thanks for listening, everyone. This one's been like more of a shit show than the last ones. Like, it's just been us shit talking, but that's what I want.
It's a good transition episode, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
For whatever you've got planned next.
Okay, next week I've talked about this one. This is the only episode that I have cemented for now.
Rocky.
Yeah, the first new movie that I actually get to talk about in a while. The new Scooby-Doo animated movie, Scoob, comes out tomorrow, or today when you're listening to this. And Connor and I are going to watch it. Our good friend Connor, he's going to come on next week. And we're just going to talk about this new Scooby-Doo movie. So I don't even know what to expect, because no one's seen it yet. So there's no reviews or anything. But it'll be really interesting. But it's the first new movie we can talk about. Unless, of course, we go back and talk about Trolls World Tour. But yeah, that'll be exciting. And then as for anyone after that, it's not really set in stone. You guys are all returning at some point, yeah.
Oh yes.
But I don't remember
Co-hosts
specifically
usually
what
do.
for or when yet. But you're coming back, so
Barnyard.
Barnyard.
Yes, I'm there
Barnyard.
for Barnyard, and we also have to play the PS2 game, which we've got, Lockie. We got to play that
We
before.
have to play the PS2 game. We have to.
Oh,
I
God.
think there was like, I can't remember. There was a couple that we had planned for the future, so we'll get into those. But
You should do a poll on your Instagram the week before.
that's kind of what I'm thinking, especially
yeah.
after this one, because after this it's all just nothing for a while.
Yep.
I've got like the new Christopher Nolan movie is still supposed to be coming out, and like the new Wonder Woman movie in a couple of months. But like until then, I'm pretty.
We need to do two-parter Avengers. But
yeah,
I'm
we're
talking
gonna do
like
that at some point.
Iron Man to Endgame.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking like I kind of want to put that off until close to Black Widow,
Yep.
because we could
Oh,
do
yeah, true.
like think like 3 weeks in a row of Marvel. We got like 1 week of the first half of Marvel, second week is the second half, and then the third
Phase
one
1,
is
2,
Black
then
Widow.
3.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, but I guess thanks guys for coming back.
Exciting stuff. You're welcome.
Anytime, anytime.
Yeah, I
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Brad, thanks for being on the last 4 episodes with me.
That's okay.
You'll get your check in the mail for those in maybe 6 months when we start
Just
making
pictures of
profit,
Chinnick's
but-
feet.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But yeah, I guess I'll do the little plug again. You can find us on Spotify, find us on Apple Podcasts. You can go to our Instagram, which is just at Chinwatched, and same thing on a Letterboxd is Chinnick23. But both of those at the moment are mostly just other movie reviews. But I generally like promote the podcast on the Instagram and Facebook as well now. So that's there too. But yeah, that'll be all. And
Follow, like, subscribe.
yeah, all of that. All of those things. Follow, rate on Apple Podcast. You can do that. You can't do that on Spotify, but Spotify following still helps. And I guess Brad.
Mhm. I've been working on this one.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yep. This is the last time you get to do it for a while. So just,
Rodar ese ritmo, gordo.
this is the last time you get to do it for a
So-
while, and you choose to do it like that.
Rodar ese ritmo, gordo.
Chinnick, roll the fucking beat.
The dumbest joke. I hate it.